What's up, team? Coach Abraham checking in with Armor Strength and Conditioning. So like you may have seen in my previous video, I talk about training volume and how we can avoid injuries by progressing volume accordingly each week. So I talk about just an example, maybe you're training 5 hours one week, the next week you're training 6 and 7 and 8. Right now there is no magic number. It's going to be different for everybody because it's not just how much you're training, but the intensity of that training session, right? So the RPE, the rate of perceived exertion. Anyways, what I want to talk about here today is not overtraining, but actually undertraining. So we know that overtraining leads to injuries, but also undertraining. I don't want to make this video super long, so I am going to have just a key aspect of what players should be doing, so stick around for that. So a player that's in the off season, right? They want to probably party, it's their downtime, and they want to have fun. Rightly so, they just had a long competitive season and they just want to like unwind, right? But now during that time, before going into preseason, what are they doing? I've had some players that have contacted me that in the preseason, they just keep on getting hurt. Then I ask them, okay, what have you done leading up to that? And just to make a point, they told me, oh yeah, like I was living in my basement for those 2 months. I'm like, okay, so you weren't doing anything, and then you go into preseason, and now you're expecting your body to do those high demanding things. As we know, preseason can be very intense. It's a lot of volume, sometimes even 2-a-days. Now, this is why injuries occur. The player and the body was underprepared. The muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, all that good stuff was not ready to handle those loads, and that's why injuries happen. Now, let's talk about a player who is coming off an injury. So if you're coming off an injury, we know that the sports medicine team, so that's like the rehab team, they are responsible for guiding you and helping you to get back so you can start playing. Once they are done with that, they hand them over to the performance coach. That's me, that's my job. So we're bridging the gap from rehab to performance so they can ultimately play. And it's my role, okay, hey, what have you done previously? Now, what is needed so we can fully prepare you and get you playing back at 100%. Now, with that said, a lot of times players skip this one little step, which is very crucial. Head into their team training, the coach asks them, hey Bobby, are you ready to go? And like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. They start playing full on contact and then they get hurt, right? And then a lot of times the blame is put on to the coaching staff, right? Now, for again, an average player, maybe they're not gonna have access to these staff members, right? But if you're somebody who's coming off a rehab, it's important that you are bridging that gap. This is why hiring maybe a performance coach who's going to help guide you through that is very important, right? By the way, guys, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you're interested in that, I got you guys. Now keep in mind, it's an investment in your part. So again, the body is underprepared and then they get hurt. So what are you supposed to be doing during that time? So Dr. Tim Gabbett put on a paper on underperformance. And if we look at this chart, we see a player in rehab. So we're going to use high running speed for this type of example and intensity. They are doing minimal high speed running. As things progress from going from rehab to the skills, so maybe that can be our job, right? The performance coach. Now they're going into below match demands, right? So now we are steadily progressing them to that intensity. So now we're starting to increase that high speed running distance and intensity as well. Now this is important if you really want to go step by step and perform at 100% and minimizing injuries down the road. Let's use the hamstring strain for an example. I've used this example many times. We're doing Nordic curls, the body is strong, the tissue is ready, and then you ask it to sprint, boom, everything collapses. What was missing there was the high speed running, so sprinting. Now for coaches, let's use the example of your whole team, right? So let's say that you underprepared them and now it's time for your first couple games of season and your players just aren't up to that level with other better teams. In training, I hear that noise. In training, it's the coach's job to prepare the athletes to the demands of the game. If the players are not prepared for one, you will see how it's going to be an issue when going up against a team that is physically prepared. Two, a higher demand is asked for these underprepared players, which can lead to more injuries down the line. So again, you need to make sure that the body is prepared. Yes, you could take that little downtime and make sure that you're not completely underprepared going into preseason, right? So guys, I don't want to make this video super long. Check out my programs on my site. If you enjoyed the content that you saw here today, make sure that you give it a like. Drop a comment, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Custom programs and one-on-one coaching if you want to get back to playing at your best and take your performance to that next level. I just added a 3-month commitment pack, a 6-month commitment pack, or maybe you just want guidance for your training. I do offer consultation Zoom calls so we can talk about your training. Think of this as an investment you are doing right? So you're doing yourself a favor, you are getting more knowledge, and you are preparing your body so you can ultimately play the game that you love, right? Most of y'all want to go pro, and this is what you want to do. So take care of your body. It's super important. We know that Ronaldo takes care of his body to the highest degree possible, right? This is why he's 37, 38, and still playing with one of the best teams in the world, or at least was, right? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.